everybody, it's Roger and Lori from Meadows here, and we just thought that we would touch base with all of our viewers today. We've had some health challenges going on in our household for the last few months, and Roger probably won't talk a whole lot during this video, and you'll understand why, but I just want you guys to know that I'm not just intentionally monopolizing the talking today. It's just because it's really difficult for him to do right now, particularly speaking for long times all at once. But anyway, we just wanted to explain to you why there has been quite a pause in content coming out of our studio lately. Back in August, Roger noticed a sore on his tongue, and at first he thought that he had just kind of bit it and he had a canker sore. And so we were treating it as such, salt water rinses, and we kind of graduated up to hydrogen peroxide and water rinses and things like that. And it just wasn't improving at all. And so 6 weeks of suffering with this sore on his tongue, we finally went into the doctor to say, hey, what's going on here? And the general practitioner kind of thought that maybe his face looked a little swollen, and so he did prescribe him some antibiotics for a week, and he took those for a week and thought maybe he was seeing a little bit of improvement, but needed possibly another week of antibiotics. And so I called in and got him another week of antibiotics, and we just weren't seeing any improvement at all. So he suffered for a couple more weeks at that point in time, and his pain level just kept increasing and increasing. And I personally saw that you weren't even able to sleep.
No. Not at all.
The pain was pretty much, pain scale was just through the roof for him. And he was at that point in time even having difficulty eating because this sore on his tongue was just so painful. It was radiating into the ear and into the back of his head. And chewing and swallowing was becoming difficult for him.
Very difficult.
So we didn't really get very much help from the general practitioner. But a couple weeks later, after those 2 courses of antibiotics, we went into kind of like a now care, urgent care type place. And a doctor there prescribed him a stronger antibiotic and kind of a numbing rinse. It's called lidocaine. It's a dental numbing agent is what it is. And actually that really helped you. That rinse really helped you.
Yeah.
And so, even though he was on soft foods at that point in time, he couldn't do a whole lot of heavy chewing, no steak or burgers or anything like that. He was at least able to get a little bit of relief.
Chicken noodle soup, and I think that was about it. Just chicken
noodle soup. You lived on a lot of chicken noodle soup at that point in time.
I was their main contributor or purchaser for chicken noodle soup.
Yeah, we should have bought stock. Yeah. But anyway, so we went into this urgent care and got another course of antibiotics, and that really did nothing either. So we went back to the general practitioner again, and the general practitioner at that point in time, we were probably 8 or 12 weeks in with this sore, and it was increasing in size
and pain,
and increasing in pain. And at that point in time, the general practitioner sent us to an ENT specialist. And so we went to see the ENT specialist, and she right away, I think, recognized what was going on and immediately referred us to Rochester Mayo.
Yeah, she had another doctor with her that she said, this is what I think, but I want him to look at it. And he didn't even hesitate. He walked in the room and he said,
I'm not touching it.
You're going You're going to
You need to go to
Rochester.
Rochester. Yeah, I think that they knew at that point in time what they were looking at, but they
Yeah.
didn't say anything to us. Of course, our minds and our hearts were heavy
Yeah.
with the fear of what the diagnosis was going to be. But anyway, we got down to Rochester, and we were referred to Dr. Linda Yin. And our first time seeing her, she immediately said, "I need to biopsy this." And so she biopsied it right there that day.
It was
And
like, what do
yeah,
you mean?
and she also, I think that was probably one of the worst things to
Yeah.
happen was that biopsy. That was a tough day. That was a really tough day.
Yeah.
But anyway, and she said, I can do a quick pathology on this. Just stick around the clinic here and I'll call you back up to my office within an hour or two. And so we hung around, and she called within an hour and sadly delivered the news that, yes, this was cancer on his tongue. So she expedited all of the needed pre-surgical appointments that very same day, since we were there at the Mayo Clinic, and she expedited like 4 different appointments that day for us. And she said, I want to surgically remove this on Monday. So this was on a Wednesday that we had received the news that he had mouth cancer.
Yeah, she wasn't messing around.
She wasn't messing around. In 4 more days, Roger was under the knife down there at Rochester Mayo.
She's a fantastic.
She was an amazing surgeon. She is an amazing human being.
Yes.
Just a wonderful, wonderful lady, and very knowledgeable, obviously, at what she does. But anyway, so then on the Monday after Thanksgiving, Roger underwent, he ended up actually being in surgery approximately 6 hours. It was a very long day waiting.
It was.
And worrying. But God really, really blessed us, because originally she had told us that with the amount of tongue that she felt she was going to have to remove, he would have to have reconstructive surgery and would probably then have to have a temporary tracheotomy put in and a temporary feeding tube put in. And she warned us of all of these things that, coming out of surgery, that you might be facing these difficulties, and also difficulty speaking, or maybe not being able to speak at all. The long-term diagnosis or prognosis was that he may not be able to speak. He may not be able to eat by mouth ever again. And so this was
scary,
horrifying. It was horrifying. You are cruising along in life, and all of a sudden you just have these things hit you from left field. And I would also like to share with you all that Roger has never chewed tobacco. He has never smoked tobacco, and he does not drink alcohol. All 3 of those things are contributing factors. It increases your risk of mouth cancer, and he had never done any of them. And so this really was a shock to us. He wasn't in a high risk category for mouth cancer. Right. But anyway, he got through the surgery amazingly well. They removed approximately 1/3 of his tongue. Obviously, you can tell that he does not have a feeding tube. He does not have a tracheotomy.
I got a pretty good scar.
Yeah, you got a scar. They cut him pretty good at the base of the neck, because they also wanted to remove a lot of the lymph nodes and have those tested. But anyway, woke up with none of those things that we were expecting, and God just really, really blessed you and blessed us.
I expected the worst.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, when they tell you the worst, you do kind of expect the worst, I guess. But anyway, so 2 weeks of recovery. from surgery. He did have a drainage tube for an entire week after the surgery, but that was really, I guess that's fairly normal. So 2 weeks of recovery, and then we just went in again this last, I guess it was another Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah, this last Wednesday. You get so many appointments in a situation like this that
You get lost.
you do. You just kind of lose track of time and, when you're hearing things and whatever. So the days are pretty much running together for us at this point in time.
And we didn't really have just the stress of what was going on with me, but for us to survive, like a lot of people, I have a job and I have missed out on so much time at work due to this that it's
It's
more
scary.
than
Yeah.
more than just the stress of, oh, you have cancer. Oh, by the way, you can't go to work. You can't pay your bills. There's a lot that we're trying to swallow.
Yeah, I think it's the same journey that
a lot of people
travel. The uncertainty of everything. Obviously, Sadie's really happy that Dad's doing okay too.
Yeah, she's my little nurse when
when I'm not around, she really takes care of you very well.
Yes, she does.
But anyways, so this last Wednesday, at first, pre-op, they were telling us from the scans and what they could see that it was stage 1 verging onto stage 2. Post-op, when we went back for his post-op and what they called the final pathology results. First of all, another absolute blessing from the Lord was that all of those lymph nodes that they had removed from the neck did test out negative. There was no cancer in the lymph nodes at all. And you all know, once it hits those lymph nodes, it really becomes a completely different battle. But all of the lymph nodes were clear and good. And so, thank you, Jesus, for that blessing. But the final pathology results did show that he was actually not a stage 1. He was a definite stage 2, verging very closely on a stage 3. And because of those results, they have suggested radiation follow-up, which, is a pretty normal thing for cancer patients. But we had a couple of options. I had learned, pre-op, as we're worrying about what the diagnosis was going to be, I really went out and just sought as much information as I could. And I had come across what they call proton radiation treatment. And the regular photon radiation treatment is more of a broadband radiation, and it destroys a lot of good tissue along with the cancerous cells. So being that radiation will be happening to his mouth and so close, obviously, to the brain, the photon radiation was the choice that he made. And this is still kind of a clinical trial type radiation, but the best way that I can describe it to you is traditional radiation is like a flashlight, and the light, spreads pretty wide. And so that would, cover a lot of the jaw and a lot of the brain and a lot of the head. And so you're destroying a lot of that really good, healthy tissue. The new proton clinical trial is more like a laser pointer, where it takes that broad band and it zeroes it right into just a little pinpoint type radiation. And so they can really, really concentrate just on the cancerous area on his tongue. And another benefit of this proton radiation is that it doesn't cause as much exit damage. Also, with regular radiation, you have damage all the way through, and you have exit damage also. With the proton radiation, you eliminate a lot of that, good tissue being destroyed, and you don't get the exit destruction.
Which we were blessed there too, because normally there's not a lot of openings for somebody to actually get in to have that procedure. And we just were blessed enough that they had 2 openings left. We were just so lucky.
And you qualified.
And I qualified for the opening. So it could have been, well, we have no openings, you have to do the other.
Right. But also the other really good thing, at least what we're considering to be a really good thing about this proton radiation, is that the traditional radiation treatments were going to be 6 weeks of treatments Monday through Friday. So we're talking 30 treatment sessions of radiation. With the proton radiation treatment, it reduces the treatment to 3 weeks of Monday through Friday treatment. And the proton radiation does have all of the same side effects as the traditional radiation. So
just more focused areas.
More focused. Yeah, we're not going to have as much good tissue destroyed. And it is a shorter amount of time. The side effects, as probably all of you know, are not
fun.
They're not pleasant.
No. Blisters and a mucus saliva, which is kind of
they're saying thickening of the saliva, mouth sores and blisters, burning of the skin.
I mean, they were very honest.
Yeah, they were.
They didn't try to hide it and say, "Oh, it's going to be fine," and have me wake up and go, "Well, I didn't know it was going to be this way." They were like, "This is what's going to happen."
Yeah. Exhaustion. Of course, he's going to be extremely tired and probably just feeling horrible.
Yeah.
And I think that that's the hardest thing looking forward, is knowing that you're just not going to feel good at all through this.
The hardest thing for me is I've been waiting for a breather in pain, and it's been nothing but pain ever since this all began. And even now I still have pain because I'm still healing. My tongue is still healing. My neck is still healing. I have therapy that I'm supposed to be doing every day. Learning how to use my tongue again to speak is a little rough, but it gets better every day. I still have a few stitches holding me back, but I'm hoping when the stitches fall out that I'll be able to use my tongue a little more. But I'm going right from healing from this into we're going to start destroying stuff again. So it's a long road. I'm hoping what they said was once I get through the therapy and the recovery, I should feel like a new man. And I am praying for that day, because all the people that deal with cancer, I know what they mean when they say, "I just want the pain to stop."
Yeah.
And you do. You just want the pain to stop. You just want to be able to sit down and go,
"Wow, nothing hurts today." Yeah.
I mean, I'm old enough that I got aches and pains, but you get so used to those, it's like, but this is nothing.
Different. Yeah. But anyways, so we just wanted to, I guess, come to all of you today just to share what has been going on here. And obviously it's been extremely difficult for me to be recording lately, but I do have a new video coming out that I slipped in a recording yesterday, and I hope to continue being able to find time between traveling, treatments, hopefully Roger will be feeling well enough that I'll be able to spend some time maybe in the kitchen,
Yeah.
and not, not tending him all the time. But if he needs me, I'm going to be there.
I'm her editor, so
Yeah, and he is my editor, and so if he's not feeling well, it's going to be tough. Even if I do get things recorded, it'll be tough for him to get them edited and produced and out. But we will continue to do our best on that front as we
most definitely
travel forward.
Yes, I love you too.
Anyway, so thank you for viewing today. We are calling on any and all prayer warriors out there to lift Roger up in prayer. And as we walk through this journey hand in hand with our Savior.
And not just me. My family needs prayers too, because they're going through right along with me. It's not just me.
Yeah. I guess we do all need to be lifted up in prayer, that's for sure.
Yes.
But overall, we want you all to know that we are okay. We are doing well. We are facing this with faith and strength and as much positivity as the good Lord will give us.
We're strong Christians.
We are. We have a deep-seated faith, and we know that God is going to bring us through this.
Yeah.
And we can continue sharing in the future our life here, gardening, canning, whatever it may be. We're hoping that this next summer we'll just be back in full swing again and doing everything that we enjoyed doing before this. Cancer does change your life, but it doesn't have to change your life completely. And so we really look forward with excitement.
Yeah.
Once you're completely and fully healed and healthy again, that we can just continue our journey in homesteading and food preservation, and we can continue to share all of that with you. So I guess that for now, unless you have anything else to add.
No, Merry Christmas.
Oh, absolutely.
Happy New Year to you all.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
And may everybody get to their families' houses safely, and that God is with all of you, and make it a really good end of the year for you all.
We also know that, Christmas and the holiday season can be really difficult for some people, when you've lost family members or loved ones, or for those that maybe are alone, their children aren't able to come home or whatever. We do realize that this time of year can be very difficult. I know that we've struggled through that ourselves. And we just broadly pray for all of you in those situations also. Just lean on Christ, and He will see you through this too.
He's always listening.
He's always listening, and He loves each and every one of us. So I guess until the next time, like I said, I do have a video that I think Roger will probably be able to get produced within the next day or so and out. And I will continue to record as I can. But please understand that our presence online, we just don't have the time available as freely as we once did. There's so much time on the road traveling to these medical appointments. These medical appointments are just pretty much monopolizing our lives right now, which is the way it has to be, and we're okay with that. We just wanted to let you all know that is happening, and that's why we haven't been online so much. So I do apologize that I haven't been able to answer questions directly for the last little bit. But I hope that will improve here soon too. So I guess until the next time, God bless you all.
God bless all of you.
And happy canning, everybody.
See ya.